Hey, ladies, what's up? Welcome to Mom Ownership Mondays. And I'm so excited. Just wanted to give you a little inspiration. Music. We know you're working hard, taking care of everything, and wanting to celebrate you. I am super excited today because we're interviewing a mom who is a real estate mogul and a personal inspiration to me. And so, if you read Sis I Got You, bam, this little beat up copy because I be highlighting and working through it. But yeah, you'll see in chapter 9, I talk about Ashley exclusively because during my home buying journey, I was like locked in trying to find interviews, listening to podcasts, reading books, just getting my hands on whatever I could to be inspired. And so Ashley was that for me on my home buying journey. And so tonight, I want you to grab a paper, a pen, so you can jot down something that inspires you, or something, a jewel that Ashley or myself might drop. And so while we're waiting for Ashley to come in, I just want to give an update that I have a manifestation home ownership workshop coming up next Sunday, and that's completely free. So if you are interested, make sure you shoot me a DM. I have a personal goal of helping 100 moms minimally this year get into homes. Now, you all know that I'm a licensed realtor in the state of New Jersey. So I will be actually navigating moms through the process here in the state of New Jersey, but through the programs that I'm going to be offering, I'll be able to assist women across the country. So feel free to send this out to at least 5 other women, 5 other moms who you think would benefit from hearing from Ashley, and everything that we're going to discuss tonight. And so Ashley actually just came in. So I'm going to give her a second to request to be in a video so we could get straight into the meat. But again, go ahead and share this with at least 5 other women who you think would benefit from tonight's conversation. And Ashley should be coming up at any moment.
Hey, how are you? Let me find
Hi,
it.
Ashley. How are you?
I am well. Thanks for asking. Oh, this is always looking different. Sorry. Hey, girl. How are you?
I'm
So I am.
excellent. And I'm always, wait, hold on. Let me get a little, how do I,
It's
you
like
know,
a
I
little
gotta,
happy face. Oh,
I
I am
gotta
so
get a
messed
little,
up, girl. I
I
had
don't want to do the wrong thing.
a I had a facial gift card for Christmas, and my skin is very.
This
It's
is not
not
it.
bad. Yeah, but I had a reaction. So my face is like swollen, like, oh my gosh, what's going on? But that's because I ain't had no business doing that anyway. But
No, first of all, facials are good. Don't not get them. You need to pamper yourself because you work extra, extra hard.
yes, I'm like, I'm gonna start doing the facial every month and a massage, but probably not the facial. I have very sensitive skin. Like sometimes I get out the shower, look like I got to fight. I be having webs. I'm like, my skin is so sensitive. So maybe just a head massage my temples or something. But definitely got to speak on doing more self care. Like just even if it's once a month. Girl, I'm so
Absolutely.
but I'm
Absolutely.
excited. So I literally just got finished doing the podcast. We went over, but then I'm sitting here on Instagram like, why? Because I forgot you had a different page. So I'm like, because I normally see you live, then I request. So I'm like, why? And I'm like, oh my God, let me check and see. So that's why I was just sitting here like, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm so for those of you who are just tuning in, I'm Linda Lloyd. I am an author. I wrote a book called Sis I Got You. It's a guide for single moms to purchase a home despite having poor credit, low savings, or experiencing life challenges. But I'm also a licensed realtor in the state of New Jersey. So I have an Instagram page called Close with Linda. And so I started doing a little less with Close with Linda and I'm focusing more on a brand now, Sis I Got You, and really committing to helping more moms get into homes. And so prior to that commitment, while I was writing my book, I reached out to Ashley for an interview, and she so graciously said yes. And I wanted to feature her in my book. And so, Ashley, before you came on, I was explaining to the viewers that during my home buying journey, you were one of the people who inspired me. I was a single mom. I was recently evicted from a situation with my child's father. I was removed out of his home, and then I got into an apartment on my own. My son was maybe not even one at the time. And so we were then getting evicted. My landlord was attempting to evict us out of that apartment. And it wasn't due to me not paying rent, it was just craziness, right? And so at the same time that I was getting evicted, I was like, you know what? I'm not going into another apartment. Like, I'm getting into a house. And so I literally started my home buying process at the same time I was getting evicted, and I was laser focused. One of the podcasts I was listening to at the time was Bigger Pockets. And your interview was on there, and I swear, like, for whatever reason, it doesn't happen to be a lot of people of color at that time when I was listening. I haven't been listening recently, so I don't know what it looks like now. But to be a Black person and a Black woman and to have your story, I was just like, you know how they say you get like a supercharge? Check my camera. What's wrong with my camera? Somebody said,
Yeah, it's
Linda,
just a
check your
little
camera.
yeah, it's a
Blurry?
little blurry. I didn't want to stop. Yeah, just a
Ah,
little blurry. But
is that
I
better?
don't know if it's like a bad connection, or what. Because when I first got on, it was okay. Yeah,
Oh, that sucks. Is it still blurry?
yeah. So it's like I don't know if you have your Wi-Fi on. Oh yeah, yeah. It's like, or if I say maybe try to cut it off, but
As long as we can hear you, right? I think
somebody
that's
said
what counts.
that's what I was about to say. There you go. You good now? Yep, you good.
Thanks for the
Yes.
tip. So I cut off the Wi-Fi.
Okay. Cool.
And so listening to your interview on Bigger Pockets gave me like the supercharge that I needed in that time that was very like crazy and tumultuous for me. So I want to dig right into asking you questions, but before I dig right in, I also want to give you a floor opportunity if you want to say anything to kind of like start us off.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. As you know, I remember you reached out to me, and anything that I can do to help, especially someone that looks like me, a single mother, and your passion is so amazing. So I really love that. So thanks for having me. I'm super excited. And if you guys are here listening, stay tuned, stay to the end, because you're definitely going to learn so much. And make sure you guys are following her as well, so you can continue to learn.
So I feel like I would rather be blurry than the superstar being blurry because you're like kind of sort of blurry now.
Now
Do you
I'm,
see
oh
blurriness?
my gosh, no. Ooh, what's
Maybe
that?
it's the filter. I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know. Let's see. I would say because when you were seeing yourself, was it blurry to you? When you were
No.
seeing it was clear. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Ooh, be quiet.
Well, you guys let
Um,
me know what you
Stone
see
Cold
because
Chloe,
clearly
my blurry sweetie.
somebody
Um,
just said no. No.
okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
So
cool. So yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Just listen,
we're
let
gonna
me
leave
know.
the satellite over here in Jersey alone. So so Ashley, your story, and I really wanted to highlight you because I feel like there's levels to being a single mom, right? Some people argue like you're not a single mom if this, but I'm not getting into that. I'll just say that it's levels. And when I heard your story, I'm like, oh my goodness, there should be no excuse. So you were 23 when you purchased your first house, correct?
Yep.
Okay,
23.
and tell us, how did you purchase your house? And how many children did you have at the time?
Yeah. So at 23, I was a single mother of two kids. They were probably like 5 and 3. Um, you said, okay, I was a single mother of two kids, and you said, what was the third question?
I
How
was
did I?
asking you, how did you buy your house at the time? But let me circle back. What was your profession? Like, what type of work did you do?
I was a waitress at Red Lobster, like a waitress making $2.65 an hour, literally. So it averaged out about 18,000, under 20,000 a year for sure.
Mm.
So I know my son has a part-time job. He makes more than that a year, part-time. But that's just where I was at the time.
So 23 years old, right?
Mhm.
And you're waitressing at Red Lobster, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a house. Like, what gave you the idea that you can even do that at your age?
Yeah, so honestly, I didn't know what I didn't know, right? So that was a good thing because I didn't know what was going on with real estate. But I literally saw a lot of foreclosures for sale signs, and I called one day and it said it was $6,300. That was the purchase price of the house. So I went ahead and I knew I didn't have it at that time, but I knew when I got my tax return, I would have, that's the only time. And somebody who's making $20,000 a year, that's the only time I've had $1,000 right at once is tax time. That's when everybody balls. So I decided that I'm gonna ball out of control on this year's tax return and buy new furniture, buy a new car. I'm just gonna literally take every dime of that and buy a house. So that's how I got started using my income tax return. And it was $6,300.
So I want to just echo that because you are absolutely right. In certain communities, when it's tax time, it is ball out time. Kids getting new clothes, new sneakers, we're buying cars, like all of that, right? But you at 23 was like, you know what? I'm going to have a temporary pause on my immediate satisfaction, and I'm going to think long term, and I'm going to purchase a house. That's a huge deal. Do you know there's people that's twice your age at that time who don't make that type of decision? So the house was $6,300. How much was your tax return?
It probably was about 5,800. So I know I had to put like 500 with it, but I did not know that there was also closing costs. I thought that that's all I had to pay. So I actually had to push the closing back like 7 days, and work extra shifts as the waitress to come up with the $1,500 that I needed for closing. So yeah, so the tax return was a little bit short, but again, like I said, I was able to pick up some shifts to get the rest of the money.
I know I've heard this story many times before, but I am so moved every time I hear it because these are the stories that we don't hear. You know, you are a young single mother, black woman from Detroit, right? You know, people would look at us at that time and that age like, we're going to try to get a babysitter so we can take a trip and spend this money. You know, we are inherently super brilliant and super responsible, right? We carry, but those stories are not told. So I just appreciate lifting up this story every opportunity I get. And so because I talk to a lot of women and they're in a place that they're like stuck, like I don't have enough money, I don't have enough money. You got a tax return, right?
That's all. Yeah.
And you said, I'm going to just take this whole thing and put it on a house. Now, granted, when you purchase your house, it was like around the time of the housing crash. But I mentioned to you before, there are people who make six figures, right? And they can't go into their bank account and pull out $5,000 in order to make that type of purchase.
Right.
So, what that says is that no matter what your income is, you need to exude a level of discipline if you're going to be successful. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree with that. And also, like, while I still see houses for 6,300 now in Detroit and other markets. They're not good investments. Don't get me wrong. So just don't go buy it because it's cheap, because that was a different time. But that could be a down payment, right? So there are properties in areas for $200,000, and there's programs called the FHA where you put 3.5% down with some closing costs. You can put 5%. So I don't have my calculator and I try to use my brain just for finding real estate, but 5% of 200,000, I'm believing is 10,000, right? And then on top of that 10,000, as a first time home buyer, thank you. There's a grant that Bank of America and other banks that have up to 7,000 or up to 10,000 as a down payment assistant. So essentially, you can get in a $200,000 house completely free. I even helped somebody get into a house and they received $1,000 back off their grant. So it's definitely possible. We're not going to speak that negativity into existence, though. That's what we have to start doing. So what happens as soon as I said my story, somebody was on the comments on a Facebook group like, yeah, but she was in Detroit. I live in New Jersey. It's too expensive here. Or I can't find anything for 6,300. But you're probably in a better situation than I was, first of all. And then second, you can use it, you can get down payment assistance and you can get into a property in your market for that same price. So it's definitely possible. And just changing our mindset, saying that no matter what, especially my rule of thumb, what I tell my son is if one person, if one human being, I don't care, black, white, tall, short, male, female, if one human being can do anything, then I can too, because I'm a human being. Now I may have to work a little harder, like if it's lifting weights, okay, I might have to lift weights and train for it, or I may have to do this, but as long as one person can do it, I can too. So that's our mindset. So don't say, well, it was Detroit, or I would never have that. It's definitely possible now, and I help people daily get started with less resources, with income.
No, I think that's awesome because it's your determination. And there's something else I want to mention that made you what I feel like the ultimate soldier, but I also want to speak on these grants. New Jersey is very expensive. It's probably one of the most expensive states in the country. However, we are called the Garden State. And so many people don't know. We talk about FHA loans, we talk about conventional loans, but you can also get a USDA loan in the state of New Jersey,
Wow.
which will help your interest rate, which will help your down payment be zero. Now, we know you need a little bit of something in this market, but that still can significantly put you ahead if you are looking to live in a more rural area. You can see if you qualify for a USDA loan.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, good. Yeah. I didn't know that.
And yeah, we're the Garden State. I don't happen to live in that part. But yes, we are the Garden State. One of the other things about your story that makes you the ultimate soldier in my eyes, and this is the question that you ask people, like, how bad do you really want it? Mm-hmm. When you moved in your house with your 2 kids, there was no furnace.
Yep. No.
So talk about levels.
Detroit. Yes, we're in Detroit. So the good thing is I moved in. So first of all, I bought it in February, April, around that time with my tax return. I couldn't even move in until August because I didn't have the money to fix it up. So once we moved in August, I didn't have the money for the furnace. So all I knew was I had 3 months because if anybody been in Detroit, even Jersey, October, November, it is cold. So literally, it wasn't what people assume, like when they buy their first house, especially Instagram. I love it, but I hate it because, Instagram, as soon as you buy your house, now you got a reel and you got champagne and this big, beautiful house, which is amazing. But I just don't want people to try to obtain that on their first property. You definitely want to buy something less than what you can afford so that your next house can be a dream house and then you can use the income. So but I didn't have that. So I didn't even have a housewarming. I didn't want nobody to come into my house because I didn't have a furnace or anything. So it definitely was living below my means and not being able to get the stigma, like, the feelings that I would have gotten as a homeowner. I didn't get that because I couldn't have the big housewarming. I didn't have granite countertops, but definitely sacrificing because I knew the lifestyle I wanted to live later down the line.
So that's huge because as I'm a realtor, you're a realtor as well. And sometimes I'm going to say this, so just cover your ears if this is inappropriate if you're listening, but sometimes my buyers have champagne dreams and Cisco money or beer money. Right? And
yeah.
So you said something that was so important. This doesn't have to be your final home. This is a play. Move into a house that is less than what you can afford. And when you said take the money, like pull the equity out of that house and use that to get your next house. Absolutely. And so again, that just reinforces how bad do you really want it. And so there are some people saying, like, I don't have the discipline. I see some people saying that in the comments, like, I don't have the discipline. That's a good thing to know and recognize. And so the next question we want to ask ourselves are,
what do we want to do? Do we really want to gain the discipline? Is there another mom or another person who I can have as my accountability partner so that we can get this thing together? And so I really just commend you for having that fortitude at that young age. And even now, actually, when I talk to you, you mentor me from afar. I've joined your programs. Like, you really are fearless. And what you tell your son is really what you live. If anybody else can do it, you could do it too. And I really commend you for that. I want to shift the conversation a little bit, and I want to be along the lines of confidence. So you and I had a conversation. I'm not in Clubhouse because I don't have an iPhone. But we've talked about some women feeling like they need to wait until they're married or until they're a significant relationship until they own a house. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, well, honestly, I had never heard anything like that before, but just was creeping on Clubhouse. I haven't been on there in almost a year, so I definitely need to get back on there. But there was a room saying, like, why women should wait to purchase their first house because it could, I guess, look like a disadvantage for a husband if you've already, been successful on your own. So honestly, I just went in there to see, like, is this really a thing? So I didn't stay long, but just the topic in itself, like, I never even thought of a female or anybody would think about it like that. Because what I really, life changes, right? Especially just depends on where you're at. But if you're not 85 years old trying to retire, like, this house that you pick and choose will not be your forever home. So if you are a single woman and you are looking for a man, or you would like a man, then you can still buy a house. It just won't be your forever home. Buy something cheap that you can stay in for a year or two that's going to be worth more. And then now you bring something to the table. You can always have something to go back on. But I really hope and pray that that's not a lot of people's mindset. Maybe that was just a title to get people in the room, but I just hope that's not a case, because it's really not. You should definitely think that way. You definitely want to bring something to the table. And honestly, times are changing for sure. Times are definitely changing with women. So I don't think that's a negative to be a homeowner. It definitely probably will be a plus.
I just wanted to throw that out there because there are some people who believe that, like, some women believe that they can't do it on their own, or they prefer not to do it on their own. And listen, some things in life may be challenging, but that does not mean that we cannot and should not. We should avoid the challenge, right? Because there's greatness on the other side. And speaking of the greatness on the other side, I want to shift a little bit to talk about financial freedom and generational wealth as it relates to home ownership. Now, I feel like there's levels to financial freedom as well, because what was free to me may not be free to the next person. But owning a home allows us to have a level of financial freedom, especially if we do multifamily properties. Now, some people are just like, no, I don't want to do it, but I really try to advise, once I speak to buyers and know like what their goals are, really try to encourage them to either get a multifamily or introduce them to the concept of house hacking so that they can generate additional income, so they can either get into the next property or have that property or room or basement or attic help pay their mortgage. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because you did an excellent job at setting this up for your family.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wasn't fortunate enough to be able to house hack because I didn't know about it at the time. But for sure, any new investor, any coaching client, if they have not purchased their own home, I literally draw out an example on why they should buy a multifamily. But we have to look at our mindset, guys. It's all in our mind. So I'll have people, just like you said, like, I don't want to buy a house until I get a husband, right? Stop speaking that negativity, guys, into yourself. Like, and first of all, if you're not a millionaire, then you don't have the liberty to say what you don't want to do. Like, my brothers, they're young. I don't want to work in fast food. I'd rather work in a factory. Well, you're not a millionaire. So if it takes you to work in fast food, then you have to do it. You don't get to speak and choose until you have that freedom. So that's for one. I definitely don't believe in speaking in negativity into myself, right? So, but when you talk about house hacking, if you go into it like, listen, okay, I want to say if you want a $500,000 house, and all it's going to take you is 1 year to get that, and you just have to buy this multifamily property first. living there for 1 year. You don't have to like your neighbors, whatever. You don't have to do that. And then after that, 1 year later, now you can have that $500,000 house. But guess what? Instead of carrying that $2,000 mortgage, your original property that you didn't want to stay in for a year is now paying the mortgage on that property and half of that. So that's what it boils down to, is 1 year of sacrifice. As long as I know how long I got to do it, you can do it. So when you think about what is it really going to look like for me, it's going to be 1 year, right? And not saying that you won't have fun, but you have to sacrifice that 1 year. But I'd rather sacrifice 1 year. Now I got 10 or 15 years of time freedom because now I'm a homeowner, versus not sacrificing that 1 year and still having to constantly work and stuff like that. So that's definitely my sentiment, or my way of trying to teach people about using the power of house hacking, or buying a duplex and renting it out. And I know somebody had asked earlier, can you do that? You can do that up to 4 units. So if you can find a 4-family flat that you're okay with living in for 1 year, do it, because that's going to be 3 extra incomes that can help you. But you can do that up to 4 units, and you can get into those properties with as little as 5% down. And then you can also get a grant that can help you with that closing cost. Yeah, so that was the first part about the generational wealth. Is that, and then you had asked, would you, about something else that I was doing with the kids, for the kids?
Well, I mean, generational wealth and the financial freedom, right? Because what happens is you own, as long as you're keeping up with those properties, you own them, right? And so
Absolutely.
you'll be able to gift them. And I saw something briefly when I was looking online. You said you had I think it was 4 goals that you promised yourself that you would have for your children by the time they turn 18. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. Because I did not saying like I knew they were big. I didn't know if I would be able to do those, but yes, I'm actually living, breathing, seeing it right now that my daughter's 18. So what I decided early on, right, is no matter what I can do for my kids, and even some of you guys that's listening, right, maybe you guys don't feel like you have the discipline, or it's too late for you. You can still fix your credit and give good credit and pass that down to your kid, and they'll at least have that advantage. So I knew when I had my kids and when I started buying real estate that I wanted to set them up with an advantage versus a disadvantage. Like, I was very disadvantaged. A lot of people that look like me, we are at a disadvantage, right? Not like, I just want a level playing field versus being the underdog all the time. So I made a promise that I would give my kids a good credit, give them a property, a real estate or investment property, to be able to graduate college debt free, and to have a vehicle by the time they were 21. Obviously, I've been doing it, putting them in position before they were 21, but because they have to graduate college, that's why I said 21, right? So again, now the good credit, all I did was have good credit myself, and I've talked to some of the top credit repair specialists. It may cost less than $2,000 in 6 months to turn your credit around, right? So
Mm,
I had good
good
credit.
to know.
I put my daughter as an authorized user for about since January, so it's about a year. She was 17 at the time, and as soon as she turned 18, she adapted my good credit. So that's how she has a 767 credit score already, and she's only been 18
Woo!
for 14 days, right? She has never purchased anything. So that, I didn't even know it was true, but it happened just by putting her as an authorized user. The college debt free, obviously, I've been investing in an IRA and just saving cash up so that she can have that, pay the tuition to whatever college. And the vehicle, you can finance it through your business. If you guys want, like, it is so easy. I don't want to even go into that tangent, but buy real estate, even if it's just for your business, so you can pay your kids, so you can buy assets in this business name, just so that you can write off all of those expenses, if anything else. So that's what you can do. I bought her a vehicle, and then the investment property, I'm helping her leverage her credit to do that, and she's going to use my reverse flip strategy for that, because I will be just full disclosure. If she would have went the traditional bank financing route, she probably would have had to wait till she was 20, because they typically want you to have 2 years of income, right? So she's just turned 18, and even though she has income, she wasn't paid on a W-2. It's a tax strategy. I'll talk about that later. So she wasn't paid on a W-2. So now she would have had to work for 2 years to have that income to be able to qualify for a mortgage. But if she's going to go the cash or credit card route, like I'm teaching her, that she's going to be able to purchase this property on her credit cards, and then that's going to be her investment. So that's the route we're going. But 4 things to give your kids: a house, a car, good credit and no debt for college. And now at the end of the day, whether she decides to go in real estate or if she decides to go work at Burger King, I feel confident that I at least gave her that advantage, right? She's not obligated to go into real estate or do anything, but I know that she has at least a level playing field versus coming in as a disadvantage. So hopefully that helped. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
My phone, first of all, my phone is smoking. And if
Yes.
you're watching, I know your phone is smoking too for from all of the heat that Ashley is spilling. And I love Ashley so much from afar because, and I hope you all have shared this live with, especially a mom or a woman who you know. Sometimes stories are so important. You
Yes.
understand what I'm saying? You have somebody who went to college, have potentially has tons of student loan debt, trying to figure this out, listening to professors who are not necessarily in the field themselves. And you literally, no disrespect, like all respect, have somebody here, actually two people really that started from the bottom, although
Yeah.
I went to college, like, trust me, okay? Started from the bottom, but this woman here is a real estate mogul and has a real estate portfolio that's beyond $1 million. And she ain't stepping on nobody's university. She went to the school of hard knocks and
Yeah.
she figured it out. And she invested in herself. So if you are watching this and you're sitting, one of the things that actually continue to say is that we don't invite that negative energy here. We
Yeah.
don't let the negativity in our space. So you have to be very intentional day in and day out. If you don't have it now, get around people who are going to speak life into you and support your dreams. If you do not have people around you who are going to support your dreams, remove yourself from that situation and do like I did. Dig into podcasts, go
Yeah.
online, like surround yourself with nothing but positivity because what you think is literally what you're going to begin to do. And I bought my house in 7 months, right?
Yeah.
While I was being evicted. A regular person would be like, all right, let me just get out this person's house and get into the next apartment. And I'm like, no. Ashley went from making less than $20,000 to managing and owning, right? Over $1 million real estate portfolio. So I'm just pausing because I know it's so many other nuggets, although you already have the phone smoking. But I just really want to speak to that woman that's watching, that's thinking like, I don't really know. Listen, after watching this and you feel like you don't know, then sister, I think you need more than just like a conversation. We might need to love on you a little bit more because it's possible.
It's definitely
So,
possible, and definitely use my story. Like, because honestly, I don't feel like I've seen people that was such at a disadvantage than I was, and literally did not have that leg up, right? I didn't have somebody to loan me 100,000. So you definitely can. But the good thing about it is if you're listening, I answer my DMs. I offer coaching, right? I offer phone calls. So you literally have to take that leap to get it done. But at bare minimum, if like, because okay, think about it now, like if you wanted to buy a house, it can be intimidating having to come up with $10,000 or $20,000 as a down payment or whatever. But if you just say, okay, well listen, all I got is my tax return, I'm just like Ashley, I'm making 25,000 a year, whatever, I know I'm gonna get this little $4,000 or $5,000, but I need that. Figure out what you really need and use that $4,000 to get your credit in position, because guys, at this point, I'm buying properties without using any of my own cash or credit. So now, and like, I know I don't want to sound like a broken record because people would throw that out there, but won't really give you proven, actionable steps to do it. You can literally do it. So, like I said, 10,000 may be a lot to save, or 20,000, but if you talk to the right credit repair specialist and they say, listen, it's going to cost you about 1,500, but in about 6 months of us disputing, but we can get your credit back to like that 750, then that's all you need. Get your credit together, and then I can show you how to use that credit to buy properties and to increase your net worth, right? So it's definitely multiple ways to get inside. But if you maybe you have a lot of money and no credit, then that's where you're going to go the hard money route, right? Or no provable income. A lot of people don't have W-2 jobs, so they don't qualify for traditional funding. But again, not speaking that negativity into you. If one person did it before, it's possible. You may have to watch 10 podcasts or scroll through Instagram, but you got me, you got sister Linda, sorry about that. You can reach out to both of us, and definitely we'll try to help as much as possible. Someone said,
And
"What's
I
your credit score?" Be sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
So it only matters about your credit score if you don't have money and don't have things to bring to the table. So you want to have at least a 700 to 720 to qualify for like business credit and stuff. But if you have at least 5 to 10,000, you can do a hard money loan with a credit score as low as 550. Right. So that's only if you're trying to use none of your own money, you have to have a strong credit. But if you have some capital or access to it, then you can buy real estate with low credit as well.
Ashley is killing it. So let's go back really quickly because we went from buying one house in 2008 or 2009, I think it was, right, at 23 to now I'm a millionaire. I got several bags, right?
Yeah.
Take us back from how you go from one to like, what did you do? There was something that you did every year to acquire more houses.
Yeah, so my journey, it was like 10 years from 2009 to 2019. And literally, after I bought that first house, I didn't change, right? So again, when some people buy a house, they're like, well, I ain't paying rent. I was paying $700 a month in rent. So they're like, well, I'm about to go to the club every night and spend that 700. So for sure, I did not, I still paid, just like I was paying rent every month, I still deposited $500 a month into a savings account. So, and then when I got my next year tax return, I used the savings and that tax return to buy my second property. So to be honest, guys, the first 3 years of my investment journey, I didn't pay myself a salary. Right. So that's like, but because I still worked as a waitress, I had 7 properties and still was waitressing. And people would treat me like
Whoa,
people used to
stop.
be like
Can you
down.
say that again? Can you
I
say
had
that again?
properties and was still going to work for $2.65 an hour as a waitress. Right. And I would wait on people that like look at me for like, oh, you just a waitress, thinking, and they don't know, like, I got 7 properties and y'all renting and y'all looking down on me because I'm serving y'all. You just never know. So I didn't quit my job instantly off my first property or my second or third. You know, that's definitely what a lot of people try to do. But I literally invested every dime I made from those properties back to get the next property because, again, I didn't have good credit. I didn't have a rich uncle or rich dad or somebody that was teaching me how to get this money. So I literally had to buy the properties out of sheer necessity, out of sheer savings, and, you know, not taking a salary. So didn't change my lifestyle, still lived in the same house, didn't buy a new car. I was just buying houses. And people were looking down on me like, how you fixing up your rentals better than your own property? But I knew I had to go. So from 2009 to 2019, I used the cash flow, the tax returns to acquire 10 doors. And at that point, I didn't have no mortgages. I had retired, literally financially free at 27 years old. I stopped working as a waitress. I owned my house outright, and I was financially free, making about $5,000 a month off my rental properties. After 3 years of being 27, I know it sounds good. I know a lot of you guys are like, I'm retiring at 30. You're not going to retire at 30. Even if you have the money, you're so young, you so much full of life, you're going to just create more things. So at 27, I didn't have nothing to do. My kids were like, I would go out of town and they wouldn't even miss me. They like, because they used to seeing me. I never went to work. So they just used to me being there. So I'm like, y'all don't be missing me when I'm gone. So I decided to work for a bank, right? Because I wanted to start using the bank's money. That's another tip. Like, there's nothing wrong with if you want to learn hard money lender, go out and be a hard money lender and get paid to learn. So I went to work at a bank because it would provide me a ability to move out of state if I wanted to, but also I could learn how banks work and things like that. And so I went back to work at the bank, but fast forward from 2019 to 2020, I was able to buy 11 properties in just 1 year. So literally
Woo!
doubled my portfolio. Yeah. So it took me 10 years to buy 10 properties, and I was able to buy 11 in just 1 year. And how I did it was, at this point, now I started using the bank's money, right? So remember at the beginning, I was using my own money and saving. I got savvy, I educated myself, and I started using the bank's money. And when you use the bank's money, it allows you to accumulate quicker, right? That's what it was. So that's how I was able to use the 11, buy 11 in 1 year. I literally refinanced some of the 10 that I had, used hard money lenders, and used a couple banks, and that's how I was able to do it. But fast forward to today, sweet tea, because I didn't stop at 21. I thought I would. So August 2020, I had 21 properties. I'm closing on number 31 and 32 this week. So I'm I'm still
Yes.
now, so I'm not trying to teach you guys and coach you and don't actually do what I'm teaching you. I'm still active investing. So I literally purchased 20 properties in the last 28 months. I can't believe it. Like, where's the time going? But it's crazy when I look at my portfolio. I'm almost at 3 million. I'm at about 2.7 million in assets. Again, that's not money I have in my pocket. That's the houses. So I'm broke for sure, but that's something good because somebody who literally didn't own anything, right? Didn't own a car, didn't own a house, making 20,000 a year. I now make 20,000 a month off my rental properties and now have a net worth of $2 million, right? And again, I know it's a net worth, so it's not $2 million that I can touch, right? But that's powerful. That's very powerful to say
First of
that.
all, Ashley, let me just pause you because you said, well, we're not welcoming in here. And
Yeah,
so we're not welcoming you to say, oh, it's only, I can't touch it. Sis, many of us watching this live right now don't have 2 million worth of assets to touch at all. So whether it's liquid or if it's a building and a structure, it's amazing and it's a huge accomplishment.
for sure. Thank you. And yeah, definitely just looking back because it's still surreal to me. I feel like I don't really realize how far I've came because I've just been grind. But like I said that on a podcast and I'm like, wait a second. That's a flex, but I'm not a flex person, right? I don't want to be like bragging. I just want to be more inspirational than anything because we got enough of those fake flexers out here, right? But sometimes we got to listen to Megan Thee Stallion and say, I don't brag enough, right? What she say? What she like looking in the mirror like
You
I don't
asking the wrong one.
right. So Megan is that like I don't brag enough. So again, not braggingly, but that is an accomplishment to be a single mother of two, right? I never went to college. Living in Detroit, which was bankrupt, right? I was on Section 8, right? Where I came from, no knowledge, no education, no money, making $20,000 as a waitress a year is now able to make 20,000 a month and literally there was nothing special, not saying like that, obviously we all have our specialties, but there was nothing about me that's different from you. Like I'm not the smartest person, I can tell you that right now. Like sometimes I don't even know how to like spell because all I care about is finding real estate, right? But no, I'm just
Let me just say, Ashley
yeah,
is
I'm
being
just
too
trying.
humble, y'all.
Yeah,
She
it's
being
good.
too humble.
Yeah, the only difference between me, I would say, than a lot of people is that I'm gonna outwork everybody, right? If I see a deal and I need $5,000, if I have to stay woke for 6 days straight, I'll do it. If I have to not watch TV for 6 weeks, right, I'll do it. That's just different. I just know that like I don't let distractions, right? I'll forego going out to the club, binge watching to outwork people. And that's just typically that's what I feel like is the only thing that stands part for me is that I'm willing to outwork people. I never think I can be like, even now, like at a $2 million portfolio, 2.7 actually, me and my kids, we still go out in the summer and we do our front landscapings, right? A lot of people will be like, I make 2 million or I got 32 properties. I ain't about to be out there putting some mulch down. Why? Why? Because at this point, I don't want to. And another thing, what people always say, I just want to give my kids what I didn't have, right? That's what everybody say. I know so many 2-year-olds that never wear the same outfit twice, right? Every time I see 2-year-olds, they got on Polo this, Ralph Lauren this, Gucci this at 2, right? And I said,
Wow.
why are you doing this? Well, I want my kids to have what I don't have. No, we need our kids to know what we did not know, right? Forget that have, because if you can teach them
That's
what
a
you didn't
bar.
to change your life financially, that's going to get you guys so much further. So I never try to like spoil my kids. Like I want them in Gucci, all the labels, because I didn't have it. I just wanted to always them to see hard work. So see, like, yeah, my mom has money and on these podcasts, but my mom will still go out here and put some mulch down because she know that this is her property, right? So that's what I also want to do it for, because people are watching, right? And a lot of times we floss so much that we discourage people that look like us because they're watching us and they're seeing these Lambo trucks that's rented, right? These jets that's rented, right? Or all this stuff. And they're like, well, I can never get in real estate. I can never buy a Lamborghini. Where am I going to get 300,000? So now we're discouraging people when we should really be uplifting people to see like, okay, and I'm not saying that those things are wrong, but when you're it's so much down the line. Like I can read people like how much money they make and all that stuff just because I do this. But I like you can have 50 apartment buildings and still have to work, right? So because it's just a debt level. So I don't want to talk too much about it, but for sure, I definitely want to be an inspiration to let people know that I didn't have a leg up, right? But you can do it too because you're just like me, right? So, or better, probably in a better position. So I know that was like a long tangent, but let's teach our
No.
no versus trying to give them what we didn't have.
It was so many gems. I told y'all, I hope y'all had y'all pens and y'all papers because I told y'all that Ashley, I mean, you could, watch this later. And if you're watching this later, please hit hashtag replay to let us know. But you said so many things that were so pivotal, but I just want to lift up one of the many things that you said, and that's outworking, right? Literally, you give me the vibe and the energy like there is no such thing as no, right? You are essentially like water, right? You just gonna figure out it's nothing that's gonna stop you. And I am so inspired by you still, even after being in my house. And so I am challenging myself to acquire another property this year. I don't know if it's going to be in Jersey. I don't know if it's going to be in Detroit, but I am challenging myself to get another house this year. I invested in myself because I invested in myself a lot last year, and I always, I'm a continuous learner, right? And so I invested in myself and joined your program at the end of last year. And you showed me how I can use my credit to obtain a property. And so I'm saying it here. So by the end of 2022, although I'm committing to help 100 moms get into homes this year, whether it's physically here in Jersey or through my programs, I too am going to acquire another property, an investment property this year. And that's based off Ashley's teaching. But Ashley says something so pivotal. She will outwork you. And she is being so humble, which I appreciate it. Listen, if she wanted to flash, if she wanted to, brag or whatever, she has the right to do that because she works so hard. But she's so humble. It's like, girl, you are dope. Like,
Thank you.
I love it. And so in that spirit of outworking, another thing that Ashley said is that she figures things out. So Ashley went and worked at a bank because she wanted to know how it worked. She didn't have to, right? She wanted to leverage that opportunity. Ashley didn't mention this, but she also was getting her tax return. I heard you talk about this, like, and you were asking your tax preparer certain questions that they couldn't answer. Ashley turned around and studied the tax code. Now sis know how to do taxes. It's like, what can Ashley do?
Yes. Definitely multiple streams of income because if COVID haven't taught us anything, right? We know we can't depend on anything. And just to be honest, like just it's really a bad situation going on. Just even friends of mine, like I know somebody like, and it was on the news, it was viral, like 5 days before Christmas, a corporation laid off 900 people. A close friend of mine, they literally eliminated their job 4 days before Christmas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the power that we give to other people, and it's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5. I literally just quit my job February, but definitely want to have multiple streams of income and start building your business because you're never going to lay yourself off, right? And then also with COVID out here and the vaccines. Now, definitely everybody, we have a right to choose, but some people don't have a right to choose because their employers, like New York, they're saying you literally cannot work. So now people may be opposed to the vaccine or may have health reasons why they can't get it, but they have to because they have to work to feed their family. So all I can say is definitely focus on multiple streams of income. And because of social media and people like yourself and people like me that's literally here helping you guys, most of it is free, like these lives. Now, we're not going to give you the play-by-play 100%. We do want you to invest in yourself so you can value and appreciate the information. But these lives, we do help as well. So for sure, you don't want to just have all that control, right? It's at this point, the way that the world is going, we don't have a choice but to be successful and have multiple streams of income, because other than that, you're going to be swept below. And it goes way, way further than that, which I'm starting slowly but surely starting to realize with healthcare. Like, in people, you go into the doctor and you have insurance with the government, which is great, right? I had government insurance, the best. It's way better than what I have now that I pay for. But at any point in time, they can cut you off or say, we're not paying for this. And it can be life-saving and literally will send you home to die. So we, at this point, it's not an option of should we change our lives? Should we start investing in real estate? Should we invest in ourselves? We don't have a choice. We
Have no
have
other choice.
you have to do it, because other than that, we're not free. As you can see, people don't have the right to choose or have to pick between putting food on their table or working because of a vaccine. So let's definitely do it. And also, that's what I'm here to teach you guys. We are both teaching you. She's committed to 100 women this year. So just, it's
So
possible.
I wanna talk about that a little bit, Ashley, and also give a opportunity for you to speak about what you have coming up. But one of the things that, so Ashley, you kept talking about multiple streams of income, right? And so it might be a mom or a woman watching like another stream of income. I can't even, you know, deal with the one stream that I have. How I'm gonna have the time? How I'm gonna have the energy? Again, everything is about mindset. And one of the things that I talk about in the book, Sis I Got You, is that, you know, you either have a money problem or you have a savings problem. And many of us unfortunately, have a money problem. And so there may not be enough hours in the day for you to work. So you need to really do a self-assessment at this top of the year and figure out what is it that you can do to generate income? What skill set do you have? And when you create this business, it's almost like Ashley said, it's not really an option. It's almost like obligatory. You have to do it. When you create this business, you put yourself in a position where you can do, like Ashley talked about earlier in our time together. You can pay your children. There's certain
Yeah,
tax write-offs you could do. Certain things could put you in a better position in order to purchase your house. And Ashley and I could both show that to you. So if you are a mom watching now and you are interested in becoming a first-time homeowner, DM me the word ownership, or you can put it, if you're watching in the replay, you can put it in ownership in the comments, or DM me ownership. I have a free workshop coming up to help you get in the right mindset and prepare you for home ownership. There are some people who are watching this live, and I'll talk more about that later, but I want to spend some time letting Ashley talk about her program. Some of you who are watching already own a home, right? And you're looking to become an investor, or you just, even if you don't own a home, you might want to start and just like come straight out and get into investing. And so, Ashley, can you talk to us a little bit more about the program that you have coming up that we can take advantage of?
absolutely. So obviously, I try to be more cost efficient because it is becoming to be more expensive for me to help people. So I've transitioned to these workshops and my little challenges and stuff. But ideally, they're under $200, $197, and they're on various topics. So the next one that I have coming up is hard money lending, where I literally walk you through the steps from start to finish on how to work with hard money lenders. And then I have a bonus where I show you my reverse flip strategy. Now, what I am a big, I guess, an advocate for is when you find ways. So even if you're a first time home buyer and you know that you have to use the FHA and the first time home buyer grant to get started, but you can still use hard money on your next deal, right? This is other people money. So again, for $197, you'll get a 3-hour live with me. We do live Q&A. So I'll answer your questions, and I even give you guys a $200 off discount to do a one-on-one call with me just to make sure you get it right. But maybe that's not the workshop for you. So just make sure you're following me, because I have a different one that shows you how to buy in Detroit. I have one with my CPA to show you how to pay your kids and save on taxes. I have one with my attorney on how you can do, contracts and stuff. So there'll always be different trainings, but I'm going to definitely just walk it out to you guys via that way. Again, I do offer one-on-one coaching, mentorship, and one-on-one phone calls, but just if it depends on where you're at, right? But just to be more affordable, I do have those workshops, and they're under $200 on various topics to show you guys how to use other people's money and to really do this. And it's not coming from a place where how much money I can make, because, I definitely do it to give back. So I really care about you guys being successful. So the information that I put in there is high value, right? It's not like, oh, I'm gonna go to this class and then I'm gonna have to go to somebody else's class to figure out how. So once you attend my hard money lender workshop, you would literally have hard money lending in the bag. You might have to go back and watch the replay, but you at least know how to work with hard money lenders. So you have somebody say they can't wait for Saturday. So it is this Saturday, January 15th at 3 p.m. Eastern. If you do come and have to leave early or you don't show up, you do get access to the replay for 5 or 7 days. So it's definitely a great value at $197. And you want that because, again, you're getting a $200 off coupon. So essentially it's free, right? And the reason I always try to offer some coupon, because it's not about the money, but you have to get used to investing in yourself.
Investing in yourself.
Yeah, right? So like I said, when you look at it like, oh, it's $200, but she give you a $200 coupon. I'm literally trying my best to force people to come any way possible. But again, I know people may not have the 197. So I am going to drop a giveaway on my page tomorrow for 2 free entries. I try to do that as well. All you have to do is like, comment under the post. So I'll probably try to do it tonight. So if you just don't have the 197 and you can't, try to enter the giveaway. But if this isn't for you, like you said, and you just want to get your first house, you can definitely attend her program to do that. And then also I do have a program coming up for like first time. Maybe I can partner with her and we can make it work for you guys. But that'll just be down the line. So for sure, that's what I got going on. I am trying to offer more coaching, but I feel like to be more affordable, it will be more group setting.
I thank you so much, Ashley. And I think one of the things, the benefit of joining any program, whether it's my program, right, where I have a workshop getting you in the right space, giving you some resources, getting you ready to purchase your house, right, helping you break through some of those barriers, or as Ashley's program where she's really setting you up for super success to start off as an investor, acquiring these properties to help level, lifting up something she said earlier, to help level the playing field, right? One of the things that is a common thread is community, because you're not just getting access to me and my level of expertise through my lived experience in helping clients purchase and sell their homes. You're not just getting access to Ashley, who has literally built a multi-million-dollar portfolio in real estate and her lived experience, but you're getting access to a community of people who are like-minded. That in itself is so valuable. And I don't think that people really pay attention to that. Some people just want to deal with the speaker, or the quote unquote leader. But everybody is a leader in their own right, and everybody has something to contribute to the community. And so I really invite you to lean into that this year if you have not done so in the past. And if you've done so in the past, I invite you to lean in more, because so many gems you can get, not just from the instructor, but from the people in the room. Like, don't sleep on the people in the room. That's all I want to say.
For sure. I totally.
And so, I'm sorry, Ashley, you were going to say something?
No, I was just saying I totally agree with that, for sure.
So I want us to wrap up, but again, I want you to follow Ashley at Detroit Investor. If you are not already following Ashley, I invite you to follow me, Sis Linda Got You, right? And I also, again, I have this workshop coming up on Sunday, so it's the day after the day after your event. And then I also have something really cool. I wasn't going to announce it to my workshop, but I'll announce it now. I'm starting a mom ownership movement club. So we're going to get together on a monthly basis to go over different topics as it relates to you getting into your house. And we're going to do it together as a community. And so for me, community is important. Whether it was in real estate or other things in life, like I said, I've always benefited from community. And I want to put you in front of different experts who are, when I say experts, I mean like a mortgage lender, a credit repair person, a home repair person, so we can begin to break down all of these barriers that you may have and really fear about owning a house, and showing you like literally you can do it. So look out for more information about Mom Ownership Movement Club. Manifesting Home Ownership is coming up on Sunday, January 16th. Saturday, January 15th. Make sure you tap in with Ashley to learn about hard money. That's the thing. She didn't say it, but not only is she taxes, banker, she is a realtor. She is a property manager, and she's a hard money lender.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, I gotta brag more. I gotta get it together for real.
It's like the female Bo Jackson. Is it Bo Jackson? What Bo can't do? I don't know. I don't even do sports either, so let me not even play myself.
Yeah, so somebody said, can you use PayPal? Absolutely, you can. You can use credit cards, debit cards, whatever you want. And a gentleman, it was so funny. His name was Damien. I tried to go back. He said, how can you house hack with bad credit? Hard money lending. So attend the workshop for $197, and you'll know exactly how to use house hacking with with bad credit using hard money lenders.
And thank you for reading those questions, Ashley, because my questions, the stuff stopped scrolling. I can't see the comments. And I did not want to take the risk of messing up the live, like getting off, so I couldn't scroll. Thank you for looking at the questions. The other thing I wanted to highlight for those of you who are watching is anytime you make an investment in yourself, like you're getting into these programs, that's education. Right. And so that is something else that you can write off on your taxes. So everything is about mindset, right? Don't really think about how much it would cost if you did something. Think about how much it would cost if you didn't do it, right? You could spend hours and hours watching YouTube videos, looking at lives, or you could just pay the fee, tap in, get from the person and get from the community and have support along the way, right? And if it costs you $197 to get into her program, how much are you saving in terms of time and quickly getting the knowledge to be able to execute? So I just wanted to put that out there. Ashley, do you have any final words that you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, I do. So, yeah, I definitely do. Somebody had said, can I talk about how I use my real estate license? So obviously that was just another stream of income. And even now, because I don't actively, like, I'm not showing people, I'm not like a traditional real estate agent. I help my clients like on a coaching basis, and I can use my license. But it's definitely a stream of income. So if you decide that you want to do real estate investing, why not be an agent? Now it's not required, but it's just another way. You never know. It's another way to make income, and you never know where it can lead you. So it definitely is a benefit being an investor to be an agent, but it's definitely not required. And that's why I don't use my license as a regular realtor, just because of risk and stuff. Like, people might see me on social media, you never know. But also just because I guess I mind the business that pays the most, right? With the least amount of effort. But yeah, that's definitely right. But like she said, so definitely you guys don't always value a lot of people value money more as
Actually, before you go on to that part about money, I just want to say, as an active realtor, you can choose to be a realtor as well, or you could partner with a realtor. So, like, I have people who are investors that have certain properties that they're looking for in certain areas, and I work with them. I put them on my updated sheet on the MLS. I send them properties. I take them to properties. I kind of get familiar with my investors and know what they're looking for, how much they want to spend. So because it's a license, you have to pay to keep that up. So if you do not want to do that, although you're welcome to join the profession, you can also partner with a licensed realtor who is investor friendly, that understands, and that's a way that you could, get that information as well. I just wanted to share that.
Absolutely. And especially the investor friendly part. I love that because that's important. But yeah, just to piggyback on what she was saying, it's just about valuing our money versus our time. We definitely have to start valuing our time more, because time is the one thing that we can never get back, right? You can always make more money. You can never make more time. So when you are faced with the decision, do I go on YouTube for 10 hours to learn hard money, or if I just pay Ashley $197 and get it from the source? It's a no-brainer, right? So definitely valuing our time over our money for sure. But at the end of the day, just to end it all off, is that I know it sounds like a broken record and stuff like that, but guys, it's definitely possible. I know things aren't the same as it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but literally I'm still buying deals today. You guys definitely can do it. Anybody that's on this live now has access to both of us. So reach out. There's no wrong questions. You may have to invest in yourself by booking a call or participating in a workshop, but you do at least have access to us. And no excuses, guys. Definitely let's do it, because it's definitely possible. Use the bad situation I started in and how I was able to flip it without having that one unfair advantage. Use that as your motivation, right? And access to me via DM or however you choose. I will definitely try my best to help you out. And other than that, just attend the workshop, guys. It's going to be great. And I love, love, love teaching and with the live Q&A, interacting with you guys.
Thank you so much, Ashley. The last thing I want to say is that if you feel like you are having a challenge with doing this on your own, we can get so much further together than we can by ourselves. So we didn't touch on that tonight, but that could be another conversation. You also could partner with people to help, advance. You can have, 30%, 50% of a deal is better than having 0% of a deal, right? And so that's another conversation for another time. Ashley, you have been so gracious. You are always so gracious with your time. I appreciate you tonight. Please make sure you hit up Ashley for her event on January, right? This is not December, January 15th, to learn about how you can acquire properties through hard money loans. She is a hard money lender. She has experience in terms of credit. If you are looking to join a community of other moms and women who are looking to purchase a house, you need support, you need information, definitely make sure you reach out to me. January 16th, I have a workshop coming up. And again, Mom Ownership Movement Club is definitely something that you want to look out for. So you're watching this on a replay. Don't forget to hit #replay. Thank you so much for your time. And I look forward to you continuing to mentor me so that I can get some properties in Detroit.
You got it. Great year. I know you get yours this year. And thank you for being such a gracious host and making me feel comfortable. And with the questions, I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to all of the great things you're doing. I love the Mom Movement Club. That is amazing. So yes, I just look forward to seeing everything you're doing and also continuing our conversations and, continue to help each other, build each other up.
Yes. Yes. All right, y'all have a great night. Don't just take this information and feel good. Execute, 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 right? We don't want to just hop from information to information. We want to execute. So we'll see you on January 15th and January 16th. Have a good night.
Absolutely. Okay. Good night. See you.